What's up, guys? This is episode 4 of my 10-part series of potatoes. Today we're making tater tots. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another potato video. Today we're doing tater tots. One of the best ways to cook a potato. Might not be the healthiest, but it is tasty. And we're gonna start by just peeling these potatoes. For this next part, you're gonna get a clean kitchen towel, place your potatoes on top of the towel here, and just grate your potato all the way down. Got it pretty close to the nub. And now number 2. So that's gonna be our tater tots right there. Wrap this up in the towel. When you squeeze it, there's gonna be a lot of water that's gonna come out. So what I wanna do here is just take all the water out that we can. You're gonna see it's actually not even water, it's almost just straight starch water. So this part's very important. It's important you get as much liquid as you can out of here, because that's gonna be most of the texture right there. So once you dry that, you're gonna immediately fill up a pot with oil. And all you're gonna do is bring that up to about 220 degrees. From here, you're just gonna place in all of your shredded potato. We're not boiling it here, we're just confying it. So we just want to cook these until they're a little bit translucent. It's very important here we don't overcook these, otherwise they're just going to turn into mashed potatoes. I'm actually going to move this aside. I'm going to place this board down really quick. I'm going to place this bowl with a strainer on top. Just grab any sort of towel here. It's going to be very careful because the oil is still very hot. And you just want to pour it in. Next, I want you to pull up this strainer and just, if you can, use a spoon. Just get all that extra oil out. And don't worry, we are gonna reuse this oil to fry it later. Okay, once you have it like that, you can place it onto a tray. Go ahead and dump your tots and you can spread them out. And they are hot. So right now I'm just trying to spread them all around. And you can see how much you're actually working with once it's laid out like this in front of you. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna season this right now. So I'm gonna do a tablespoon and a half of kosher salt, along with 2 teaspoons of some garlic powder. And last, I'm doing a half teaspoon of onion powder. You just toss that around in here. And now I'm gonna season this pretty generously. Okay, next what you're gonna do, I have 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. You're gonna lightly just dust the tops of these and then fold it together and kind of knead it almost like bread in a way. You still don't want it to be sticking together at this point. You kind of want it to be falling apart. That's the texture we're kind of going for. So just feel for the texture. You might even add a little more. Kind of press it down. I'm gonna add a little more cornstarch. So now it's time that we shape the tater tots. I have a tray, and what I'm gonna do with this tray is lightly oil it. I'm just gonna rub the oil all in the tray. It's gonna allow me to stick parchment paper right to the tray. I mean, look how easy that is. It just sticks. This part is very important. So you wanna get about an ounce. That might be a little much. As you're rolling it like this and creating a cylinder in your hands, you also at the same time wanna take the tops of your fingers and flatten it. So end up with something like this. And if you have someone to help you in this process, I would definitely recommend it because it can take some time by yourself. Okay, I just finished up the tater tots. I have 25 here. So now I'm gonna cover them with plastic wrap. All right, once you have them wrapped up like this, place them in the freezer for about 4 hours. Overnight is preferred here. You want them to just harden up before you fry them. So I'm gonna place these in the freezer for 4 hours. Alrighty, for this next part, we're making a delicious sauce to go with them. So we already got some pre-measured sauces here to go. So we're gonna start with 1 cup of mayonnaise. You can do homemade mayonnaise, you could do store-bought, whatever you got. And then next we're gonna do a 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard here. And you can make your own too, I made my own. Just kidding. Okay, next we're doing 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and then 1 tablespoon of Tabasco sauce. I actually don't have Tabasco sauce. Wait, hold on. Nah, I don't have any Tabasco sauce, but I do have sriracha and it actually works quite well as a substitute. So I'm just gonna do 1 tablespoon of that. And then we're doing 1.5 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning and 1 teaspoon of MSG. Now go ahead and mix that up. And we just made, we just made a delicious sauce. Why stop there? Let's add some more stuff. So we got a shallot, we got some little dill pickles, we have some capers, we have garlic, and we have some chives here. All right, let's see how fast I can do this. We're just gonna start with the shallot. Just go ahead and dice this up. You want the pieces really small because the smaller they are, the better they're gonna stick in the sauce to the tater tots. Should give you about 2 tablespoons worth. Throw that in there. All right, next we're doing little baby dill pickles. So go ahead and just slice them really thin like this. Then once you have them like this, you can cut them the other way. Just going for about 2 tablespoons worth. Okay, I have about 2.5 tablespoons of capers here, and I'm just gonna chop these up the same way I did with the others. Whew. Some good smells coming from over here. Next, I want to take about 2 tablespoons worth of some chives. I'm gonna grate 2 cloves of garlic here. Now, we just made one of the most delicious sauces, and this is gonna be insane when you add it with the tater tot. So if you let this sit in the fridge, those flavors are just gonna keep combining, and it's gonna just taste even better. I mean, look at this sauce right here. Store this in the fridge until you're ready to serve. All right, let's see if our tater tots are ready. Yes. All right, so get your tater tots, and you wanna get some oil in a pot, and you wanna bring that to 350 degrees. All right, once you get your oil to 350 degrees, you're gonna place in your tots. And I think it's important that you don't do it all in one batch. Otherwise, you could overflow the pot. See, they're starting to crisp up a bit. I don't have a wire rack, but this is the closest thing I do have. So I'm just gonna place the tots on here when they're ready to come off. Look at this nice deep brown color that you see here. That's the color we're going for right there. And if they get stuck together, that's actually okay. You can just cut them apart once they come off and cool. I think it's about time that they come out. Look at this. Oh my God. The outside crunch mixed with the inside soft pillows. We might have a winner. All right, I'm dying to try the sauce with the tots. Oh my God. I can't explain to you guys how good this is. You just have to try this yourself. Nothing else needs to even be said about these. That might be the best way I've ever eaten a potato. If you stayed all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for another video.